Hello, it is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and I am doing the video for putting together this card kit that I created for November class. I'm using the Peaceful Prince paper that was part of the celebration back in September. I had been planning these cards for a long time, and this card I saw on another lady's video. Her name was Kirsten Del Rosario, and I fell in love with this. And it's also using the punch and the stamp set from Peaceful Deer that is in the June through December mini catalog for 2021. It also uses the wonderful snowflakes, which are laser die cut snowflakes on a iridescent paper. You get 24 of these snowflakes in a pack, and that is also in that same mini catalog. I'm using the scallop contours dies for this portion that's down here. It is the third from the largest, is the one that I used. I'm also using some black jewels that I had that I'm not sure if they're current or if they retired, but I know that in the January through June mini catalog there's going to be some more black dots that are coming out, so that would be good. And then I'm also using the winter snow embossing folder on this card. Another thing that I am using, this strip of paper is actually the shimmery white cardstock, which I'm grateful that Stampin' Up! Brought back. It is a really great paper. I love blending on it. I love using it for watercoloring and things like that. It has glitter or glimmer kind of mixed in with the fibers of the paper, and it really sparkles. So that is what we're using to create this card. Let me go over the dimensions. So on this one I did the thick cardstock basic white, 4 and a quarter, by 11, scored at 5.5 to create the base. The black basic black cardstock is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then the designer series paper, which is where I got the from the Peaceful Prince. And this could be done with any shapes, any cardstock, whatever. I just thought it was a really great layout. This one is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Then I have a basic black strip that I cut. This one is 4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. The shimmery white piece I cut at 4 inches by 1 1/2. This will layer so that there's some room top and bottom, but not any on the sides. It's going to go straight side to side. This strip for the shimmery white is what you will run through the embossing folder, and it will come out with this great embossed image. I hope that you can see that on the video. I don't know that you'll be able to see the sparkles. If you wanted a little bit more sparkly on here, you could use the Wink of Stella pen and hit the embossed parts of the snowflakes, and that would be a really great piece to do. Then this is from that scallop, the third from the largest scalloped contours die, and then I just cut it in half for my class, because you're going to take the sentiment that I took from the deer is, it's the best time of year, And you're just going to stamp that right along that dotted edge or stitched edge or whatever you want to call that. And so I'm just inking up the stamp. You don't have to push in on the ink pads. You're just trying to get the ink on the raised portions of the letters. And then you're just going to stamp that, like I said, right along above that stitched. You want it kind of be away from these edges because we're going to also go ahead and take that. Let me set this one aside, and I've got another one prepared. So once it's dry, you'll just take your scissors. You can do it on a trimmer too, but you're just going to cut the side kind of near the letter or the words, the sentiment, and you'll just snip those ends off. You want to leave this part up here because you're going to need that for putting this all together. And then again, you'll need one of these snowflakes, and this is the deer that I actually punched out of the paper. This is the paper. They're going both directions, so the ones that matched the punch, I went ahead and cut these into strips, and the ones that matched up with the punch, I went ahead and did those straight. Then I took a piece of, what was it, a page of the Post-it notes, and I punched the deer out of that. And then I took the paper strip and flipped it over and held it up to a window, and I lined up that kind of outline mask on the back side of this piece of paper, and then I was able to use the punch and punch through because I had already lined it up. So I was able to get both directions of the deer on that. So let's go ahead and put this together. So get that out of the way. I can kind of show you how I did that. So this has very pretty plaid with snowflakes on one side and then just the plaid on the other. And like I said, you can use any kind of die cuts, any kind of punch, any stamps, whatever you want to create this. I just thought it was a really great layout. Now this has a very small border around all sides, and then again it will have a very small border from this basic black to the white base. I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus. I like it. It seems to roll better for me. And then on the inside of this card, if you want, you can stamp any kind of images or sentiment you want on the inside. Looks like I got this a little crooked. Hold on. But then you'll just make sure that when you're putting it on, that you put this on the side so that when it opens up, everything is able to be read the correct direction. And then these pieces, the embossed shimmery white, you're going to want to layer that onto the black. Now you will be a little bit careful on anything that you emboss. A lot of times the fibers of the cardstock are kind of loose. I don't know what else to call it. They've been messed with and bunched. So sometimes if you're not careful, you can actually end up rolling the Seal Plus, and it'll come back inside the roller with part of that cardstock. So you just watch and be careful. Like I said, it's going to line up edge to edge on these sides, but on the top and bottom, there's going to be a little bit of a border. And if there's some that's hanging over that bothers you, you can always turn it over and just kind of trim that little bit off, and any of that that's hanging over, just pitch it. Before you put this on the card base though, this is where you're going to want to add some adhesive to this top portion of this label that you've created, because you're going to want to put that underneath your black strip where you want it, and then it just adheres down. You'll add adhesive, and then you'll stick this part to the front of the card where you'd like it. I kind of did it towards the bottom, and it lines up with the designer series paper because that's the 4 inches. So you'll end up with some black on the sides. So you'll kind of have a little bit of a border there. So this is just kind of the layout. It's basic there. Then you have a strip, and you have a little sentiment strip. And then I took the snowflake. I generally adhere those with the glue dots. Oh, if I could just get it to work. Put a glue dot on the back in the center. And then this I just adhered, and you can turn it whichever direction you want. Adhered that to this center or lower strip here. And then the deer, I've gone ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of him, her, whatever you want to call it. And then just to create a little bit of dimension on the front of the card, I went ahead and popped this up over the snowflake. And then just to, where did I put it? Whoops. There they are. Hid them from myself. So I'm just going to take, I'll just use this, get the take your pick tool, and I'm going to put some of these gems, these black gems, around the card. And you can do as many as you want. I'm going to do 3, I believe, just to kind of give it a little bit more sparkle. But that is basically a fast, quick card that you can make for Christmas and be able to get a head start so that you can get those out and then to people so that they can enjoy looking at it and viewing it for the holidays. So thank you, and I hope that you will visit my blog at www.dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com, and I appreciate you watching my video. Thank you.